Hi there, I'm William Drescher, Troubles Behind Me Canine Training. We're based here in New Mexico, but now able to provide consultations, dog training services, and help for troubled dogs pretty much over the planet via Zoom, Skype, Google Meet, or even FaceTime on occasion. I've been able to combine my two favorite passions. I worked as a horse trainer and dog trainer for most of my career. And in the 90s, ended up going back to school, studying video and broadcasts. I art directed some of the major news broadcasts that you've seen for NBC, ABC, and CBS. I've done a lot of animation work, a lot of how do you tell a story that you don't have pictures for. So I've decided to set up a little beam splitter here. A beam splitter is basically a backwards teleprompter. It lets me look directly at the screen and see you, and then you see me as if I'm looking right back at you through a reflective camera. If I put my hand forward, you'll see, it's reflection. So, most importantly, it allows me to have a one-on-one conversation and really help you directly with some of the issues you might be having with your dog. Oftentimes when I go to a park session doing social distancing with masks, I'll bring Troubles along with me. Troubles is the canine, is my Chesapeake Bay Retriever. He's my service dog. He's a great barometer and helps me train other dogs. He's a good example. He does demos. He's also able to sort of be a barometer for a dog that may be aggressive. And people ask me about, my pack. I talk about them all the time. So I thought I'd take this minute, give you an example of what my pack is today and who they are. Well, here's my pack. It's a pack of six, quite a motley crew, as you might say. They're all shelter or fostered or rehomed to dogs. I'm not a real big believer in going to a breeder for a dog. However, Troubles came from a breeder. He was bred beautifully in Rhode Island, did very well, and then got a little bit too aggressive for his current situation and came to me. I started doing a little training and loving him, and now he's a great service dog, was trained on search and rescue. Like I said, he's a great dog. We moved into this house about a year ago with my girlfriend, Christina, who's been great. To my right here, that's Chloe. That's her pit bull. She's 5 years old. Chloe has a little bit of what I would call adrenaline aggressive. Like a lot of pit bulls, she's not quite sure when a dog comes up and sticks his face in her face. So she can be a little bit too tough. And so we've worked with her. She's great now. In fact, she spends a lot of time outside looking at our chickens. She doesn't kill them, thank God. Squirrels, different story. On the opposite end of the couch there, that's Pepito. Pepito is a 14-year-old Chihuahua. I love to call him our referee. He's sort of everybody's friend. He's never in the way of anybody else. So, we have these three, Chloe, Troubles, and Pepe. And then in January, we added Barnaby. Barnaby is a deaf blue heeler. Though I don't know if you know, a lot of the blue heelers actually have a fair amount of deafness. He's about 98% deaf. But he's learned hand signals, and he's the most amazing Frisbee player I think you'll ever see. Kaya, next to Trouble, she's a foster for the moment. She's actually Christina's mom's dog. She was a client's dog for a while. She just wasn't in a good situation for her. They had too many little kids running around, and their life was really hectic. And she was growing puppies, so she's come staying with us a couple days a week. She plays around with Pops a lot, surprisingly, and has become a great dog for Christina's mom. Pops, boy, that's the big guy to her left. Pops is a Tosa Inu. I went to the animal shelter here back in Albuquerque in April, and I saw this dog in a cage. He's the biggest thing you've probably ever seen. He's about 3.5 feet tall when he stands at his at the hip. He's what else? He's what's called a Tosa Inu. It's a Japanese fighting dog. He was severely abused. In fact, I'll show you some examples of Pops. This was the very first day we ever had him walking along. It took 6 of us to get him in and out of the car from the shelter. This was I think this was a day or two afterwards. I'd put a loop leash on him. We'd started just sitting around with a leash on him, not pulling around. If you clip something to his collar, he'd bolt, or he'd lay flat on the ground. He just was a poor, sad puppy. I'll move forward to a different clip. This was a clip about, bring this audio down. This is a clip about 3 or 4 days later. Christina and I wanted to record him sort of going through his process. He was a very shut down dog. He wouldn't really walk. If you pulled him, he'd lay flat on the ground like that. So we used the loop leash to just get him started, and then always have it be loose in what I would call the Barbara Woodhouse way, which I teach a lot of, her sort of adapted version of what she does. And then I also talk about how to put a loop leash on. So I'm going to play you that clip for a moment so you can get a sense of some other things about my training and my methods here. I'll let this clip just play out for you.
Let Pops off the leash for a minute, and he ran over to his favorite corner. So, if he's Rhodesian Ridgeback, which we think he's partly, he's hiding in the corner like a lion. So I wanted to show people, here's a dog who's really freaked out just because he heard a sound and ran on the corner. And how you get him is really important because we're trying to build trust here. So I use something called a loop leash. If you worked with me before, you know it's like a lariat. It has a little handle on it, but most importantly, it has a little metal stop so that when you do grab the dog, you don't end up shortening and choking him with it. And it's kind of a simple process. Walk up to Pops. Hey, Pops. How are you, buddy? Yeah, are you good? Yeah. And I'm just going to stand next to him, not in front of him. I'm not even looked at him yet. I'm just kind of standing there. I take my loop leash, I drop it over his head, and I just let it slide. Once I let it slide down, I don't tighten it. I just have him. That's it. So there's no threatening thing. There's no grabbing him. None of that stuff.
And I can actually
And
still
well,
talk
Pops
over this clip, talk about Pops in
That's
his
it.
very first days.
I'm
Oftentimes
bring
people
him
say,
out of
how's he doing? Most times, he says, and he's got a new page. That's Pops' Instagram page. It has a fair amount of stories about him as he goes forward. One of my favorite photographs of him, that's this one. That's what happens when I come home from a session in the park or out shopping. It's Barnaby to his left, Pop standing up about 6.5 feet tall, and Chloe on the sofa just sort of watching what's going on. I always say to people, the best protection dog is, well, just look at that in the window. He's the sweetest thing ever. He can be a little tough. Tosas are known to be a little bit unpredictable, and he's growing out of it, but he's kind of a good dog. And, here he is with Barnaby and Chloe sitting in the back. My favorite, he and Barnaby get along. They play all day long. They sit in the car in the back. But give people an example of like what he's doing these days. This one's starting the beginnings of trainings of come and down. I'll just play this clip for you, too. This is kind of a fun clip.
Ready? Ready? Are you sure? Are you ready?
People ask
sure?
me, did
You
I name him
watching?
Scooby-Doo? No, his name's Pops.
Here it goes. Good catch, Pops. Come on. Here. Down. Down. Good boy.
So he's come quite a long ways. If you're interested in doing a session with me online, you can actually go to troublesbehindme.com. That's the website. Pretty easy to tell. That's Trouble's head in the middle, and pictures of us. There's a lot of information about the team and our services that we offer, from human canine and canine-only training services to puppy packs and aggressive dog training. There are videos, there's pictures of my clients, and a bunch of reviews, including some new ones that have come up from Google on the Google Maps comment. But, how do you get started? Well, on the left there, you'll see this little blue tab. There are a number of places you can find this online and places, but it basically says free online consult. If you click the online consult, it'll bring you to a form, and that form will give you information about me. It'll also give me information about how to contact you, and at the end of which, there's a calendar that'll set up a Google Meet or Skype or Google Meet, Skype, or Zoom meeting. And it'll give yourself a chance to think about what the issues are. You actually define what the behavior issues you're having, what kind of training you're looking for. Because I always find that people are looking for different things, and one-on-one I can do that. So if that's something you're interested in doing, I hope you'll go to troublesbehindme.com and check on that little loop. Troubles Behind Me, our motto is help for troubled dogs, families, and we'd love to help. So give us a shout, and we hope to talk to you soon. I'm going to go off and take some puppy out to the park. Have a great day. Bye-bye.